I'm done with subscriptions. Streaming, fitness, razors, vitamins. I've got subscriptions for everything in my life. They lock you in, and half the time, I can't figure out how to unsubscribe. That's why I'm so excited about the new Blue Apron. Now you can get delicious meals delivered with no subscription needed, including new pre-made options. Keep the flavor, ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Traigan la manguera, que son 45.
Cuando cumples 45, te toca soplar muchas velas y examinarte contra el cáncer de colon, ya que al detectarse temprano es más tratable en 9 de cada 10 personas. Usa la prueba de Cologuard en la privacidad de tu casa y envíala de regreso para obtener tus resultados. La prueba de Cologuard es una opción con receta para detectar el cáncer de colon en personas de 45 años o más con riesgo promedio. Resultados positivos deben ir seguidos de una colonoscopía. Pueden darse resultados falsos positivos y falsos negativos. La prueba de Cologuard no reemplaza la colonoscopía en pacientes de alto riesgo. No uses Cologuard si has tenido adenomas, si tienes enfermedad inflamatoria intestinal y ciertos síndromes hereditarios o un historial personal o familiar de cáncer de colon. Pide la prueba de Cologuard a tu médico. Para más información en español, visita cologuard.com/prueba.
On today's Smart 7, Trump backs down on Tehran threat, police investigate potential terror linked to arson attack, and much more. It's Tuesday, 24th of March, it's Tuberculosis Day, and happy birthday, Jim Parsons.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Monday morning saw Donald Trump back down from his 48-hour ultimatum to Iran. Speaking in Florida before he boarded Air Force One, he announced that the US and Iran had engaged in what he called very strong talks, and as a result, the imminent threat of the US obliterating Iranian power plants was off the table.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
Markets reacted positively to Trump's change of heart, but Tehran contradicted his claim of talks, with the Speaker of the Iranian parliament accusing the US president of issuing false statements to calm the energy markets and said that Iran would fight on. Israel continued to strike at Iranian targets, while Trump clarified that Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were engaged in discussions with one of Iran's leaders, but he refused to say who that person is. Appearing before a Commons committee, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who spoke to Trump on Sunday evening, said that his government were aware of the negotiations and remain keen to see de-escalation in the Gulf.
My very strong view is we need to de-escalate and bring an end to this conflict as swiftly as possible. I welcome the talks reported between the US and Iran. And to be clear with the committee, we, the UK, were aware that that was happening.
Counter-terrorism police have opened an investigation into an arson attack on 4 charity-owned ambulances early on Monday morning. The ambulances, which were parked in Golders Green, belong to Jewish charity Hatzolah, and police are treating the incident as an anti-Semitic hate crime. The attack has not been declared a terrorist incident at this stage, according to Detective Chief Superintendent Luke Williams, but an Iran-aligned group has made a claim of responsibility on its Telegram channel. Health Secretary Wes Streeting condemned the attack on Monday.
This is a shocking, cowardly and despicable act of evil. An attack on an ambulance service whose sole reason for being is to provide health and care and emergency response to the local community.
London Mayor Sadiq Khan says there's no tolerance for anti-Semitism in London at a time of global chaos.
The idea that somebody would attack somebody because they're Jewish or they'd attack Hatzolah is perverse, and that's why all of us need to be aware of how scared Jewish people are.
Stop, truck 1. Stop. No, man, you did the best you could.
That was air traffic control at New York's LaGuardia Airport on Monday morning after a tragic incident which saw an Air Canada plane collide with a fire truck on the runway. The fire engine was headed to assist another plane that had to abort a takeoff, and the impact from the crash killed the pilot and co-pilot and injured more than 40 of the Air Canada passengers. Incredibly, one of the air hostesses was thrown free from the plane and found strapped to her seat about 300 metres away and is now being treated in hospital. The NTSB is investigating the crash, and New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani spoke at the press conference on Monday evening.
I also want to commend those who were thrust into a frightening accident and reacted not only with composure, but by extending a hand to the person next to them. Passengers who opened the emergency door and helped one another off the plane. People who kept one another calm.
The new Sentencing Act came into effect on Monday, which means that offenders who could have faced up to a year in jail are now likely to receive a suspended sentence instead. The Act was passed in January, and it will only affect those convicted from Monday onwards, as part of the government's justice reform strategy aimed at relieving the pressure on His Majesty's prison service. Rehabilitation experts say there is no evidence short jail sentences are particularly effective, and there can be up to 6,000 prisoners serving one-year sentences in jail at any one time. David Lord of the Magistrates Association is concerned, however, that the sudden influx of suspended sentences could overstress the probation service.
If we're not going to be sentencing somebody to custody, we need a meaningful alternative, which is normally a community order. Is there enough probation officers? Are they there? Are they able to do the reports quickly enough?
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro. Things heat up at the Miami Open, and Bill Nye has some bad advice for you. Right after this.
Do you want your soccer analysis more direct than an Arsenal set piece? Join me, Max Rushton, and The Guardian's expert soccer journalist for the latest action and news from the Premier League to the Champions League and all the way to the World Cup. We'll have chat more out of the box than a Dominic Szoboszlai free kick, more panellists than Chelsea have players, and unlike VAR, we know where to draw the line. For fine margins, fun debates, and full-blooded tackles, Football Weekly. Listen wherever you get your podcasts and watch the full episodes on YouTube.
Traigan la manguera, que son 45.
Cuando cumples 45, te toca soplar muchas velas y examinarte contra el cáncer de colon, ya que al detectarse temprano es más tratable en 9 de cada 10 personas. Usa la prueba de Cologuard en la privacidad de tu casa y envíala de regreso para obtener tus resultados. La prueba de Cologuard es una opción con receta para detectar el cáncer de colon en personas de 45 años o más con riesgo promedio. Resultados positivos deben ir seguidos de una colonoscopía. Pueden darse resultados falsos positivos y falsos negativos. La prueba de Cologuard no reemplaza la colonoscopía en pacientes de alto riesgo. No uses Cologuard si has tenido adenomas, si tienes enfermedad inflamatoria intestinal y ciertos síndromes hereditarios o un historial personal o familiar de cáncer de colon. Pide la prueba de Cologuard a tu médico. Para más información en español, visita cologuard.com/prueba.
Welcome back.
This week sees the final knockout stages of the Men's World Cup qualifiers get underway. The format sees teams have to play 2 games and win both to make it to this summer's World Cup, with the Republic of Ireland facing Czechia on Thursday, Northern Ireland facing Italy, and Wales facing Bosnia-Herzegovina. In the meantime, the Miami Open tennis is on, but plenty of big names have already fallen by the wayside, including Cameron Norrie and Carlos Alcaraz. Coco Gauff, Aryna Sabalenka and Yannick Sinner are all through to the last 16, and Sinner is proud to represent Italy.
There is at times a little bit of pressure to handle. I find it very fascinating in a very positive way, and I'm very happy that I can give something positive back also. It's a very unique status.
You might have grown tired of celebrity podcasts by now, particularly the ones where Celebrity A has Celebrity B in to share chummy stories about that time they did the thing. But it might be worth making some space in your ears for a very different celebrity podcast. It's called Ill-Advised, and it's hosted by Bill Nye. The star of stage and screen has taken on a new role as the internet's agony uncle at the tender age of 76, and season 2 of his rather good podcast has just dropped. He told The Independent that there's some life advice he wishes he'd listened to from his own youth.
2 pieces of advice I was given which I ignored. One was don't take drugs, and the other one was pay your taxes. And the other is not to be awed by people's reputations, because reputations are unreliable.
Whisper it, but we're only about 6 weeks away from Sir David Attenborough celebrating his 100th birthday. The BBC have planned a full week of specials to celebrate the great man, but he's also been busy making a new documentary for Netflix that looks back 50 years to when he first met Pablo, the baby silverback gorilla. The picture of Attenborough lying on the hillside with baby Pablo sprawled on top of him became iconic, and now he's gone back to trace the story of Pablo and his extended family for a new Netflix documentary. It's called A Gorilla Story, told by David Attenborough, and it drops on April 17th.
I felt a weight on my feet, and I looked down there was little Pablo. Many people would think it was the most important sequence in that series, if not actually in my filmed life.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Rafa, sopla, sopla.
Traigan la manguera que son 45.
Cuando cumples 45, te toca soplar muchas velas y examinarte contra el cáncer de colon, ya que al detectarse temprano es más tratable en 9 de cada 10 personas. Usa la prueba de Cologuard en la privacidad de tu casa y envíala de regreso para obtener tus resultados. La prueba de Cologuard es una opción con receta para detectar el cáncer de colon en personas de 45 años o más con riesgo promedio. Resultados positivos deben ir seguidos de una colonoscopía. Pueden darse resultados falsos positivos y falsos negativos. La prueba de Cologuard no reemplaza la colonoscopía en pacientes de alto riesgo. No uses Cologuard si has tenido adenomas, si tienes enfermedad inflamatoria intestinal y ciertos síndromes hereditarios o un historial personal o familiar de cáncer de colon. Pide la prueba de Cologuard a tu médico. Para más información en español, visita cologuard.com/prueba.
Do you want your soccer analysis more direct than an Arsenal set piece? Join me, Max Rushton, and The Guardian's expert soccer journalist for the latest action and news from the Premier League to the Champions League and all the way to the World Cup. We'll have chat more out of the box than a Dominic Szoboszlai free kick, more panellists than Chelsea have players, and unlike VAR, we know where to draw the line. For fine margins, fun debates and full-blooded tackles, Football Weekly. Listen wherever you get your podcasts and watch the full episodes on YouTube.